What's going on, guys? Indy here with Ultimate 2 Reviews. So I want to make a video purely on tool storage. And of course, you can buy tool storage almost anywhere. You know, you've got Lowe's, Home Depot, Harbor Freight. And of course, you can get into some of the higher end stuff like Snap-on, Matco. I've worked in certain areas where a lot of guys are using that stuff, but that's not what this video is going to be about. This is going to be if you're, a DIYer, maybe you just bought a house or you're looking for your first tool storage. You don't want to spend a ton of money on it, but you still want to get the most bang for your buck. So I've bought in Cobalt, I've bought in Husky, I've bought US General, and we're going to go through all the ones that I've bought. I really haven't sold any that I've ever owned. They've all been actually quite reliable to me, which has been pretty nice. So let's start over here with the Craftsman. Alright, so this is my Craftsman 37-inch wide Series 2000, made in the USA with global materials. Now, if you're wondering why I got the red bottom the black bottom and the red top here, that's actually quite interesting, is because a lot of times in January, February, Lowe's will do a clearance sale on a lot of these and just blast them out of here. So what they had going on was they had a lot of the tops that were mismatched from the bottoms, like they had a black bottom, red tops, and they were letting them go for like $30, $40 out the door. So I actually was able to pick up 5 of these. I resold some on Facebook, and I kept these 2 that I only paid like, I think $60 for, these top and bottoms put together. So I kept one of these, and arguably Craftsman is honestly the worst one that I've bought in so far. I don't really want to sell this one because it fits in this space really nicely, but honestly the drawer quality is just very poor. So you can hear that. Where I'm getting a lot of the drawer is rubbing over here on the sides. You can kind of see some of the scratches are starting to form. But honestly, these drawers, they didn't come with mats, and that's not that I was missing from Lowe's. They just didn't come with mats at all. But honestly, they have just the cheapest, thinnest metal in these things. They do wobble horribly. Yep, they do wobble really bad, so this thing is just, every one of the store that I've seen, even the much, much larger ones, they just wobble just horrendously. Honestly, that's just all I can say about Craftsman. I do not recommend Craftsman. If you're going to buy any box but Craftsman. I would say Craftsman is the worst of the worst. Alright, moving on to another brand here called Mastercraft. I actually use this box entirely just for storing my nuts, bolts, screws. That's pretty much all I use it for. I got this from a client actually a couple years back. He was a maintenance technician at Disney, and he used this box for kind of rolling around some of his tools. This toolbox is interesting because it doesn't actually have ball bearings. They literally just slide metal on metal. So I grease these up once in a while. I have done some repainting on this box. It was pretty rusty, pretty worn out when I got it. I even put it on casters down here, and because the bottom wasn't in great shape, I just put a piece of plywood down and screwed the casters back in and just don't move it, and it actually worked pretty solid. It's a pretty thin little box, but because I don't use it for anything really heavy duty, it fits the job just great. The brand is called Mastercraft, and I believe this box is somewhere in the range of 40 to 50 years old now, from my best guess from what I can find about that brand. But it's overall a fantastic box. Not that you're certainly going to get this box anywhere new anytime soon, but if you can find an older box, they do hold up pretty well, especially if you can find them really cheap on Facebook, maybe at a garage sale. I've had really good luck with these older boxes. They work fantastic. Alright, let's move on to US General. This is actually the first box I ever got. When I bought my first house, I bought this one at Harbor Freight on a parking lot sale. I also bought this US General here just recently. This is the 5-drawer tool cart. So I'll start off with the first one that I bought ever here. So I got this on a parking lot sale. I think I paid like $250, $350, somewhere in that range for it. I believe this is the 26-inch upper and lower. At the time they only came in red. I did remove the top kind of cover here because it kind of got in the way of a lot of stuff, and I never really had a use for putting the cover down at all. Now I will say the one thing that I've had the issue with this thing so far, and it's not really even an issue, but some of these top 3 drawers do kind of stick. You got to kind of pull them all the way out. If I pull these both at the same time, you can see here when I'm talking, see that? This one still works fine, this one still is sticking there. You got to kind of pull it all the way out to make it come out just like the other one does. So that's the only real issue, but Other than that, all of the drawers are still just as buttery smooth as when I bought them brand new. It's hard to tell that this box here is 6 to 7 years old now. Actually, I think it's almost 8 years old now. It's been phenomenal. Haven't done anything to it. I just wipe it off once in a while, and that's about all I do. I have oiled the shelves now, I think at least twice, but other than that, this thing has been phenomenal. I believe US General Pro, this is the Gen 1. I know we're on Series 2, like this one, and then we just got Series 3 just released. So US General, honestly, is my most recommended brand. They've held up just phenomenally, and honestly, it just looks brand new. It just is such a well-built box for the money. It's phenomenal. All right, so moving on to the 5-drawer cart. I did finally get a coupon for one of these, so I got it like, I think it was like 30 bucks off. But yeah, these things, they're getting a little bit more pricey now, but I haven't had this one for very long, just a couple of weeks now. And overall, I think it's a fantastic tool cart. If you're looking for something just kind of basic, something under, $300, this is a fantastic choice, giving you the storage in here. Also, if you don't necessarily need all the drawers, you always have storage down here too, which is nice. And I will say one thing that I noticed about this 5-drawer tool cart is the casters are so much more beefy than literally any other casters I've got in my entire garage. These things are just the beefiest casters, and they're phenomenal for, taking stuff to your truck and back, or you're working on stuff in your driveway and you want to have some tools ready to go and don't want to necessarily pull out one of the bigger tool chests. It works fantastic, and I just love this thing so far. All right, so if you're wondering, I don't have any Husky tool chests with me right now. I'm trying to figure out what happened to that one. I think I gave it away to somebody, but I had one for a while. They're very, very similar. I would say they're in between Cobalt and US General. They're not bad. They're not the best one I've ever used, but they're definitely rock solid. So when it comes to Cobalt, now I would say Cobalt is a fantastic tool chest to get into if you're looking for something on clearance. Now for all 3 of these that I have here, it's kind of hard to believe, but I only paid about $200 for all 3 of these. And I actually got these right in January, February during the Lowe's clearance, just like Craftsman. And this one here had some major issues. I actually had to pull out a few drawers, put it on its back, and then stomp out the dents. It was hit by a forklift. The manager ended up giving these to me for only 20 bucks. I got this one, I think, for like 30 or 40. And then I think I paid like $150 for this one, somewhere in that range there. So I think I'm about $200 into all 3 of these. And it's one of those things where when they go, on clearance, you can ask a manager for an extra discount and they might give it to you, they might not. If they don't give it to you, you can just let it sit there for another week and come back and try again. And that's what I did with a few of these and got them for really, really cheap. So the drawer quality on the Cobalt is pretty good. I haven't really had much issue with these at all, other than, of course, having that one get dented pretty decently. Now, they are a lot less wobbly than like the Craftsman's. You can tell that this thing is definitely a bit more solid, definitely a bit more, chuggy as well too. But overall, they do a fantastic job of staying, the drawers are obviously, of course, thicker metal than the Craftsman's, definitely. And I just like the Craftsman's or the Cobalts because they hold up really well. They're not US General quality in my opinion. Sometimes the drawers do stick a little bit. Like this drawer here has been my one issue drawer here. It doesn't want to come out exactly how I want it to. I gotta pull the whole side out to get that out nicely. They do actually come with the drawer liners already in them, which is really nice. And they have performed fantastic. So if you're looking for, a brand of tool chest to get, something for tool storage, honestly, I would say US General is going to be your definitely first choice. Not the cheapest, of course, out there, but just the best bang for your buck. After a number of years of owning these, I think I've only owned these for like 1 or 2 years now on these. The US General is way, way older, and it's honestly the best condition one I've gotten so far. Just overbuilt, just incredible build quality there. So Cobalt is obviously my second choice. I would say Husky is right in there too. I haven't owned a Husky as long as I've ever owned Cobalt, but they're just as good as build quality in my opinion from what I've seen, and they do a fantastic job. The only brand I do recommend to definitely avoid is the Craftsman stuff. They are quite pricey for what they can be, and of course they have the worst build quality. They're basically just like a tin can on a couple of wheels. They really need to bump this quality up. It's just horrendous. Now, after warning about the DeWalt and Milwaukee's that are also sold at Home Depot and Lowe's, those are oftentimes just a lot of rebranded stuff. I've never actually bought one of those because they're often just kind of like a Cobalt in yellow or a Husky in red to kind of give you that Milwaukee DeWalt. They were just really, really pricey, and I've kind of never really cared to bother with one of those before. I don't really see like the point of paying twice as much just because they slap a brand name on it. So it doesn't really make any sense to me. But guys, hope that helps. You're looking for a new tool chest, new storage solution. Hope that helps, guys. If you got any comments or questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to get those answered. And take care, guys. Have a great day. Stay safe out there.